Hare Krishna, welcome to this 18-day session on the systematic study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Before we begin today's session, I shall chant a few prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I would like to welcome everyone again to this systematic study on the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have been discussing the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains 19 chapters and 808 shlokas, and we are now going to begin the analysis and the study of the 11th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the amazing and wonderful entrance, the return of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna to his divine abode of Dwaraka Dhama. So I had also mentioned earlier yesterday that the supreme eternal kingdom of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is known as Vaikuntha Loka, and in Vaikuntha Loka the topmost spiritual abode is known as Goloka Vrindavana. In Goloka Vrindavana there are three divisions of Dwaraka, Mathura and Vrindavana. So Krishna has, after the battle of Mahabharata, after pacifying the Pandavas and staying with them for a few months, Krishna has now departed from Hastinapura and arrived to his eternal divine abode of Dwaraka Dhama. So the 11th chapter would explain the wonderful sequence of Krishna's arrival and the grand reception by the residents of Dwaraka to the Supreme, to their most beloved Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and also the very beautiful prayers offered by the residents of Dwaraka, the Dwaraka Nivasis, to their beloved Lord Shri Krishna. So Suta Goswami is explaining all these narrations to the assembly of sages at Naimisharanya. So Suta Goswami says, Suta Uvacha Anagtan Saupavrajya Sriddhan Janapadan Swakan Dadmau Daravaram Tesham Vishadam Shamayan Niva. Anarta is another name of Dwaraka Nagari. It is named after one of the greatest kings that ruled over Dwaraka, and therefore it is called also as Anarta Desha. Anartan Saupavrajya, the very beautiful journey of Krishna from Hastinapura to Dwaraka was explained in the previous chapter yesterday, and now we see here in this chapter Krishna has arrived to Dwaraka, and even before entering the city, Krishna is announcing his arrival by Dadmau Daravaram. Daravaram means conch shell. The divine conch shell of Sri Krishna, his Shankha, is known as Panchajanya. So Krishna announced his arrival to all the residents of Dwaraka by blowing on his Shankha, his conch shell. By this, Vishadam Shamayanniva, Krishna wanted to immediately pacify the dejection of the residents of Dwaraka, which they were intensely absorbed in separation, in the viraha bhava when Krishna had been away. So Krishna did not want even a single moment of extension of this dejection being experienced by the residents of Dwaraka, this pain of separation. But this I had explained yesterday also, this is not any kind of material emotion. The viraha bhava of the Jivatma in relation to the Supreme Lord Paramatma Sri Krishna is nothing to be compared to any kind of material emotion of viraha or separation. This is a completely spiritual Chinmaya Rasa. It is a divine expression of the feeling of Viyoga on the spiritual platform, directly experienced by the Jivatma. It is nothing to do with the external mind, intelligence or the material senses. It is an experience of the Atma of the soul. So this Vishada which is mentioned here, Vishadam Shamayanniva, this Vishada or grief, lamentation or dejection experienced by the residents of Dwaraka is actually the true emotion of the spirit soul. In fact, this is the real spiritual Vishada or spiritual aspect of dejection. The only cause of grief and lamentation on the spiritual platform, on the spiritual level for the soul is disconnection or separation from the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And the greatest cause of spiritual bliss and joy and enlivenment is the reconnection of the Jivatma with the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So the residents of Dwaraka were unable to bear the separation from their beloved Lord Sri Krishna, and even Krishna reciprocated with the residents of Dwaraka by immediately blowing on his conch shell. And this scene is very beautifully described by Suta Goswami, that sa uchchakashe dhavalo daro hirup uru apyurukramasyaadhara shona shonima dadmayamanaha karakanja sampute yathabja khande kalahamsa utsvanaha. The conch shell of Krishna, Panchajanya, is described to be spotlessly white. So this white conch shell being gripped by the hand of Lord Sri Krishna appeared to be reddened by the touch of his divine transcendental lips, which are reddish in color like the bimba fruit, and it apparently appeared like a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. So a very, very beautiful comparison is made here to this scene of Krishna blowing on the conch shell, on his conch shell on his arrival to Dwaraka. And as soon as the residents of Dwaraka heard the blowing of Krishna's conch shell, they were alerted that yes, our supreme beloved Lord Krishna has arrived, has come back, has returned from Hastinapura. Tam upashrutya ninadam jagad bhaya bhayavaham. Pratyudyayu praja sarva bhakti darshana lalasaha. The citizens of Dwaraka heard that sound. The sound of Krishna's conch shell is actually fearful even to Sakshat Bhayamurti, or to fear personified. And therefore all the residents of Dwaraka hastened and ran quickly in order to Krishna Darshana Lalasaha, with an intense eagerness to have darshan of their beloved Lord Shri Krishna. Tatropanita balayo raveg deepam ivadritaha atmaramam purna kamam nijalabhena nityada prityutphulla mukha prochuhu harshagadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram ivarbhakaha. Tatra upanita balayaha. The residents of Dwaraka just grabbed whatever they could in order to present their various offerings to Krishna, who had just returned. So here the presentations of the residents of Dwaraka to Krishna have been compared to the offering of a small lamp to the sun. Ravehe deepam iva adritaha. The residents of Dwaraka worshipped and offered their presentations to the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is described here as Purna Kamam, one whose all aspirations, everything is completely fulfilled. There is nothing that the Supreme Lord has any need for or any aspiration to be fulfilled. He is Atmaramam, completely satisfied in his Supreme Self. So there is nothing that the Supreme Lord seeks from his devotees. But when we offer to him any presentation, any offering with love and devotion, as also stated in the Bhagavad Gita 9.26 by the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If anyone offers even a leaf or a fruit or some water, Krishna says, if it is offered with bhaktya upahritam, then I accept it. So all these offerings are actually very, very insignificant to the Supreme Lord of the entire material and spiritual worlds. A leaf or a fruit is actually a very, very insignificant thing. So it is compared here to the offering of a lamp to the sun. So there is no comparison to the of the light of a tiny lamp to the immense light of the sun. Yet the sun is worshipped by the offering of a lamp. So this is basically the transaction of love and devotion between the worshipper and the supreme worshipable. And likewise, whatever the residents of Dwaraka could offer, they brought it as presentations and offerings, and Krishna gladly and happily accepted them. All of them began to speak to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna in very, very ecstatic language, just like small children, Arbhakaha, are very excited when their superiors like father or mother return after some period of separation. So all the residents of Dwaraka were completely surrendered devotees of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and they were all like children who were offering in faltering, broken language very, very beautiful prayers to Shri Krishna. What are those prayers? They are recorded in the 11th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, from text number 6 to 10 in 5 verses. But these are very, very beautiful and very enchanting and ideal prayers offered by the devotees, by the residents of Dwaraka to Shri Krishna. So in 1.11.6, the residents of Dwaraka pray to Shri Krishna, Natasmate Natha Sadangri Pankajam Virincha Vairincha Surendra Vanditam Parayanam Kshemamihechhatam Param Nayatra Kalaha Prabhavet Paraprabhuhu. Natasmate, Krishna, all of us offer our respectful obeisances unto you, who are eternally and always worshipped by Virincha, Vairincha, Surendra Vanditam, by all the great devatas like Brahma, the four Kumaras, Surendra, Indra, all of them always worship the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Sada Angri Pankajam. All these devatas are always engaged in the worship of the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. Parayanam Kshema Mihechhatam Param Nayatra Kalaha Prabhavet Paraprabhuhu. They pray that Krishna, you are the ultimate rest of all those who are really aspiring to achieve the highest benefit of life. You are the supreme transcendental Lord, and even Kalaha. Here this is a very, very important statement made in the prayers by the residents of Dwaraka, because they also have completely realized the truth about the divine transcendental position of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Here they are making a statement that Nayatra Kalaha Prabhavet Parah Prabhuhu. Eternal time, inevitable time, Kalaha, which controls the entire material universe, all the living beings, including Lord Brahma, the greatest of the devatas, are under the control of Kala, of time. But the Supreme Lord, Nayatra Kalaha, the residents of Dwaraka say that Krishna, Kala, cannot exert its control or influence on you, because Prabhavet Parah Prabhuhu, you are the supreme master and controller of Kala, of time. So this is the real truth, that Krishna is the controller of time, and not that Kala or time can control Krishna. So this is the supreme position of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and we should learn about these truths about the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna from these prayers of the residents of Dwaraka. They further pray, Bhavayanastvam Bhava Vishvabhavana Tvameva Matatha Pati Surutpita Tvam Sadgurugnaha Paramam Shadaivatam Yasyanu Kritino Babhuvima. This is a very, very beautiful prayer. The residents of Dwaraka pray to Krishna that, O creator of the universe, Vishwa Bhavana, Krishna, you are the creator of the entire universe. For us, you are Tvam Eva Mata Atha Suhrut Pita Patihi Tvam Sadguruhu Naha Paramam Chadaivatam. You are our mother, father, well-wisher, supreme Lord, spiritual master, our worshipable deity. You are everything for us. So this is similar to the prayer offered by Kakshivan, which is recorded in the 6th canto of the Garga Samhita, wherein he prays that Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. So this is again a prayer offered by a great devotee called Kakshivan to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and a similar prayer is offered by the residents of Dwaraka to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Actually, this is the right understanding with regard to the eternal relationship between each and every Jivatma with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Lord Krishna is the eternal father, mother and everything of each and every Jivatma. He is a supreme friend and supreme well-wisher of all the living entities. So they further pray that Aho sanatha bhavata smayadvayam traivishtapanam api duradarshanam premasmita snigdha nirikshananam pashyema rupam tava sarva saubhagam. The residents of Dwaraka express their great good fortune that Krishna today is the most auspicious and the best day for all of us, because we have got the opportunity to again have your darshan, to again be in your presence. Actually, they say that Traivishtapanam refers to the residents of the heavenly planets of the Svargaloka and all the Urdhvalokas above the Bhugloka. Even the denizens of heaven rarely get the opportunity to have the darshan of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So the residents of Dwaraka say that now we are most enlivened and we are most joyful that we would be again be able to have a glimpse of your smiling face, which is full of the most affectionate glances. We can now see your divine transcendental form, which is full of all auspiciousness. In fact, the residents of Dwaraka further express their hearts to Krishna by saying that Yarhyambujapa Yarhyambujakshapa sasarabho bhavan kurun madhun vatha suhrididikshaya tatrabdakoti pratimakshano bhaved ravim vinakshno rivanastavachuta. Yarhi ambujaksha, O lotus-eyed Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, whenever you go away from Dwaraka for some purpose to visit the Pandavas or to Mathura or to any other place, the residents of Dwaraka express that every moment of your absence, prati kshanam, every moment of your absence seems like abda shatam, seems like millions of years to us. So just like in the theory of relativity, the great scientist Albert Einstein has expressed that when you are meeting your beloved, even 1 hour may seem to pass away just like a moment. But if you are sitting on a hot burning stove, even a single moment would appear to be like a long 1 hour. So likewise, in spiritual consciousness, in spiritual meeting and separation, the residents of Dwaraka express that tatra abda koti shatam pratikshanam, every moment seems like millions of years to us. In fact, at that time our eyes become useless, as if we are completely merged in darkness. So that is the level of the exalted level of devotion of the residents of Dwaraka towards the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. In their final prayer in 1.11.10, the residents of Dwaraka finally say that Katham vayam natha chiroshite tvai prasanna drishtya khilatapashoshanam jivemate sundaraha sashobhitam apashyamana vadanam manoharam. O Master, O Supreme Lord, if you live away from us for such a long time, then how can we live without you, without looking at your most attractive, beautiful face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings? How can we exist without your presence? So in this way, the residents of Dwaraka offer their heartfelt prayers to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, who accepted all their offerings and prayers and then entered the very, very opulent city of Dwaraka. The entire city of Dwaraka had been bedecked and decorated very, very grandly. Immediately, as soon as Krishna blew upon his conch shell, most of the residents came forward to welcome and receive Shri Krishna. Many others immediately engaged in decorating the entire city to properly receive their beloved Lord Shri Krishna. So Krishna entered the divine city of Dwaraka, which is described as Sarvatu Sarva Vibhava Punya Vriksha Latashramaihi Udyanavana Udyana Upavana Ramer Vrita Padmakara Shriyam. The city of Dwarakapuri was filled with the opulences of all the seasons. There were all kinds of opulences because Dwaraka is the manifestation of the Aishwarya Shakti, or it is also called as Aishwarya Dhama, where the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna displayed his infinite opulence, his infinite wealth and riches. So as Krishna entered the beautifully decorated city of Dwaraka, it is explained that Dwari Dwari Grihanam Cha, in each and every door of the residential houses, many auspicious things like curds, fruits, sugarcane, Purna Kumbhas, full water pots with many articles of worship, incense, candles, all this were there in every home, in every household of Dwaraka to receive the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And especially the immediate, intimate family members of Krishna, like Nishamya Preshtamayantam Vasudevo Mahamanaha, Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balarama, Pradyumna, Chadudeshna, Samba, all of them, they were extremely delighted and happy. Whatever activity they were engaged in, some were resting, some were dining, some were sleeping. So they left all their present activities and rushed to welcome Shri Krishna. They hastened towards the Lord on chariots. There were many priests and brahmanas who were chanting various hymns. They were offering flowers. They placed many elephants, which are considered to be the emblems of great good fortune. Conch shells and bugles were sounded, Vedic hymns were chanted. All the residents of Dwaraka, in all their different capacities, welcomed and received the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Krishna accepted all these offerings of the residents of Dwaraka, and this grand spectacle of Krishna's entrance into Dwaraka is further very beautifully described in 1.11.27, that Sitatapatram Sitatapatravyajanerupaskritaha Prasunavangsherabhivangshitapathi Pishangavasa Vanamalaya Babhu Gano Yatharkoduka Vaidyutaihi. As the Lord passed along the roads, along the paths of Dwaraka Dhama, his head was protected from the sunshine by a white umbrella. Many white feathered fans moved in semicircles, and showers of flowers were presented to Krishna. His glittering yellow garments and garlands of flowers made the entire scene appear just like a dark cloud surrounded simultaneously by sun, moon, lightning and rainbows. So the author here is unable to have a proper comparison or a simile to this most beautiful scene of Krishna's arrival to Dwaraka. So he has made a very impractical but a very suitable comparison. Although the sun, the moon, lightning, rainbow cannot appear all at the same time, they are separate natural phenomena that occur at different periods of time. But Krishna's enchanting beauty is described that as if a black rain-bearing cloud, Ghana, has simultaneously been surrounded by the sun, moon, lightning, rainbows all at the same time. So such is the wonderful unparalleled beauty of the Supreme Lord as he entered in the city of Dwaraka. In fact, it is explained that Nityam Nirikshamananam Yadyapi Dwarakaukasam Na Vitripyanti Hi Drishaha Shriyo Dhamangam. The inhabitants of Dwaraka were regularly accustomed to look upon the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, who is the reservoir of all spiritual divine beauty. Yet they were never satiated, they were never completely satisfied. So this is spiritual lalasa or spiritual greed. So just like in the material realm, even a businessman, how much ever wealth he may earn, he aspires to have more and more and more. Likewise, in the spiritual realm, here we find an example of spiritual greed, that the inhabitants of Dwaraka, how much ever they have darshan of the reservoir of all beauty, Shri Krishna, they aspire, they hanker for more and more and more, and they are never satiated. So never satiated even to the point of infinity. So this is the spiritual dynamics of the spiritual world and spiritual mathematics, where all material mathematics fails, because everything in the spiritual realm of mathematics is in the range of infinity. So in fact, Tadikshana Mahotsavaha, just having the darshan of Krishna is the greatest festival, and joy and celebration for the residents of Dwaraka. In fact, the darshan of the Supreme Lord by the Jivatma is the Mahotsava, is the greatest festival, is the greatest celebration for the Jivatma in its course of millions and billions and innumerable lifetimes. So now, as Krishna entered his palaces, he was first received by all his mothers, who received him with great maternal affection, and after that Krishna entered his palace, or to be more specific, Krishna entered his 16,108 palaces all at the same time, simultaneously. And in each of his palace, he was received by his queen. Krishna had accepted 16,108 queens. Sometimes people are confused, are bewildered, and most of the times misunderstand the real truth about the Supreme Lord marrying 16,108 wives. They think that if the Supreme Lord Krishna can marry 16,108 wives, why can't they marry at least 2 or 8 or 10? And they also consider this to be morally incorrect. Krishna's marrying 16,000 wives is regarded to be morally incorrect by many mundane materialists who have absolutely no knowledge or understanding of the absolute truth. So please hear this very attentively, very carefully, and do not harbor or bear or continue to have any misconceptions or misunderstandings about the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and his very, very extraordinary, superhuman, but spiritual and transcendental divine act of marrying 16,108 wives. There are many philosophical truths that can be explained, but please try to understand just one philosophical truth. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, it is explained that there is only one Purushottama, one Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone else, all the living entities in the spiritual and material universes are actually in the category of Prakriti. Prakriti means even in the spiritual realm, if there is a classification of gender, then the supreme male, the one and only exclusive domain of manhood, belongs to the supreme absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, and to all his Swa Amshas, to all his Vishnu Tattva expansions. All the Jivatmas, the innumerable Anu Amshas of the Supreme Lord, the Jiva Tattva, belong to the category of Prakriti, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, text number 5, that Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. So, the Jivatmas being Prakriti philosophically refers to female. So, spiritually, all the Jivatmas are Prakriti or female, and the one and only Supreme Purusha or Purushottama, the transcendental divine male, is Purushottama Shri Krishna. So in fact, why only 16,108? The wives of Krishna are not only 16,108. In the Brahma Samhita it is stated that Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambhrama Sevyamanam. In the Vaikuntha Loka, millions and billions of Lakshmis serve Shri Krishna. And in fact, all the Jivatmas are actually Prakriti or wife of the Supreme Transcendental Male Shri Krishna. So Krishna's marrying 16,108 wives to accept 16,000 queens is not a very astonishing thing, but this can be properly understood only by the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. All others practically misunderstand and misinterpret these divine transcendental acts of the Supreme Lord. In fact, it is stated in 1.11.38 that etad ishanam ishasya prakritisthopi tad gunaihi na yujyate sadatmasthir yatha buddhistadashraya. That this is the divinity, the transcendence of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, that Prakritisthopi, although he seems to be under the three modes of material nature, he is always Triguna Atita, he is beyond the three modes of material nature. Not only the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Tad Ashrayaha, those who are completely surrendered and under the shelter of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, also are beyond the bondage of the three modes of material nature. They are also Trigunatita. So, in this way, the 11th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam very beautifully describes the return and arrival and entrance of Krishna back to Dwaraka Dhama. Now, let us move on to the next chapter, the 12th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which explains the wonderful, extraordinary birth of the principal Shrota, the principal hearer of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Maharaja Pariksit. Pariksit has already been explained earlier in the 8th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Ashwathama had directed a Brahmastra to destroy the womb, the child within the womb of Uttara. Pariksit is the son of Abhimanyu and Uttara, or the grandson of Arjuna and Subhadra. So this was further explained, this is further explained, the birth of Maharaj Pariksit in the 12th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Ashwathamnopasrishtena Brahmashishnoru Tejasa Uttaraya Hato Garbha Ishena Jivita Punaha. The child in the womb of Uttara was saved personally by the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and that child, who is named as Pariksit, is the most fortunate child in the whole universe, because he had the greatest good fortune of having the darshan of the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, even before he took birth in the womb of his mother. Normally, a human being takes birth and then by good fortune takes up the path of spiritual life and does a long, severe and intense yoga sadhana, and when he attains siddhi, when he attains perfection on the path of yoga, he can have the darshan of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. But here is an extraordinary child who has had the darshan of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna even before taking birth, right in the womb of his mother. So that is the great good fortune of Pariksit, who is explained in this chapter that Matur Garbhagato Viraha Sadada Bhrigunandana Dadarsha Purusham Kinchin Dahyamano Stratejasaha. The child Pariksit, while in the womb of his mother Uttara, when he was suffering from the burning heat and blaze of the Brahmastra thrown by Ashwathama, he could observe, he had the darshan of the Supreme Lord. And in this way, it is explained that Astra Tejasvagaraya Niharam Iva Gopatihi Vidhamantam Sannikarshe Paryekshata Kva Ityasau. Paryekshata Ka Ityasau. The child in the womb of his mother saw the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and began to wonder and think. Parikshata, he very deeply contemplated as to who this person is. And therefore, Parikshata, because he deeply tried to analyze and examine. Pariksha means examination. Parikshata, this child in the womb of his mother very deeply examined the person who had entered and was protecting him from the blazing fire of the Brahmastra. And therefore, his name was kept as Pariksit, because it is later also explained in 1.12.30 also that Sa eva loke vikhyataha Pariksit iti yat prabhu purvam drishtam anudhyayan Pariksheta nareshviha. He was named as Pariksit because he always used to examine every person he came in contact with, that is he the same person, is he the same Krishna whom I had seen in the womb of my mother. So because he was always examining every person, he got the name of Pariksit. Pariksheta nareshviha anudhyayan, and in this way Pariksit Maharaj's consciousness was always absorbed in deep contemplation on the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So such was the great good fortune of Pariksit. As soon as he was born, it is explained that Tata sarva guno darke sanu Kula grahodaye jagne vamshadhara pandor bhuyah pandurivajasa. When all the signs of the zodiac were in their most auspicious situation, Pariksit Maharaj took birth, and at that time all the family members, all the Pandavas, they were very, very happy. Tasya Pritamana Raja Vipreg Dhaumya Kripadibihi Jatakam Karayamasa Vachaitva Chamangalam. King Yudhishthira was very happy. All the Pandavas, all the family members were very, very joyful with the birth of Maharaj Pariksit. And all the samskaras, all the purificatory processes and rituals were performed by the great sages headed by Dhaumya and Kripacharya. So this is very beautifully explained in this 12th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And they also gave some general predictions about the future extraordinary activities of this child Pariksit. They also declared that this child would be known as Vishnu Rata. They gave one more name apart from Pariksit to this child as Vishnu Rata, because he was personally protected by the Supreme Lord Vishnu, by Shri Krishna, right in the womb of his mother. So Pariksit very quickly began to grow in the royal palace of the Pandavas. It is explained that just like the moon in the waxing fortnight keeps increasing, likewise this very special child, this very extraordinary child Pariksit, he grew in the palace of the Pandavas. In course of time, Maharaja Yudhishthira also performed the Ashwamedha Yagna, and at that time he called the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, which is again another time when Pariksit had the great fortune of having the darshan of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. It is said that Ahuto Bhagavan Rajna Yajayitva Dvijay Uvasa Katichin Masan Suhridam Priyakamyaya. Krishna stayed again at Hastinapura Katichin Masan for a few months. So at that time, definitely the child Pariksit came in direct contact with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and Krishna, after staying for a few months at Hastinapura, again decided he returned back to Dwaraka, the capital of the Yadavas, and at this time he was also accompanied by Sarjuno Yadubhir Vigataha. Even Arjuna accompanied Krishna to Dwaraka. So in this way, we have heard today about the wonderful reception of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna to the city of Dwaraka, and also about the very, very special birth of Maharaja Pariksit in the family of Pandavas. So tomorrow we shall hear about the liberation of one of the most the liberation of one of the most unexpected characters, one of the most materially attached characters of the Mahabharata, for whom moksha or liberation was something not very probable at all, but still he attained the highest perfection of moksha or liberation. So that is the blind King Dhritarashtra. So tomorrow we shall hear about the liberation of Dhritarashtra. So how this almost impossibility was made into a possibility. So if you have any questions about today's subject matter, you are very welcome to post it on the WhatsApp group or in the comments box. Twice or thrice in a week I shall take up these questions, aggregate them together, and I shall present them as another video presentation. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please do join us for the continuation of the narration of the wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.